Morning, it's Wednesday. Well, it could be afternoon or evening, but it's morning for me. All the paint's dry enough to handle now. It's not leaving any fingerprints in it. So first job is to start assembling all the panels back on the car so they don't get damaged lying around. I think I'm going to start with the front valance, get that on, and then I'm going to do the rear valance, rear quarters, boot lid, the sills, and then finally the doors, and try and get it all assembled. So that's the plan. We'll see how we get on. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is fit the T-brackets, put them in, put a bolt in, and then just get a few threads on the bolt and just leave them loose until you've fitted the front valance. So now I'm going to put the front valance into place. Just lay it in carefully. And what I'm going to do is just get a couple of bolts in to hold it. Now, originally these had screws, but I'm not using screws. I'm going to put them in with bolts, and then I might change them to screws later on, but I don't like the screws because they're a nightmare to get out. But I might get some mushroom socket caps instead to go on. So I've got a nice bag of new bolts here. So we'll pop these in. It's handy when the headlamps aren't in, because you... Okay, got those in loose. I'll tighten those up, and then we'll adjust the height on the brackets by lifting it up and down as necessary. That's the front valance on, apart from the end brackets. Now, I've got one of the original brackets, need to clean up, and I've got an alloy one that I made because I've mislaid one of the brackets. The problem is I took this car apart 18 months, 2 years ago, and in the meantime I've built another Vitesse, and I know I have robbed some parts off this car to do the other one. So I may have to make or buy some bits as I go along. We'll see how it goes. I have got plastic boxes with bits in everywhere, so first thing I need to do is gather them all up and see what parts I've actually got. Right, I've had a route through for some bits. Got one door handle, I'm not sure where the other one is. Loads of bits and pieces. I found the old side lights, which are pretty rusty, and I think in here I have got two new ones, complete. Don't remember buying those, but I've got them, so that's handy. So that one's left hand, that one's right hand. Not sure where these came from, but I've got them, so that's good. They must have come with a spares package that I bought. They're quite expensive, so that's handy. So I've got those, so I don't need these. Now, I don't know whether to throw them or keep them. I think I'll throw them because there's only so much rubbish you can keep. I've got one old overrider and two brand new ones. It's like Christmas, unwrapping prezzies. So that's one brand new rear overrider, a bit better than that one. And just because I'll probably mess them up, I'm going to peel the sticker off, stick it on there so I know which one's which. Now these I did buy because when I was doing the blue car, I had to get a new set for those. So as long as I've got a sticker on one, I had to get a new set for those. So I bought a pair for this one as well. So that horrible thing, that can go as well. Right, so I can't be bothered messing about making a bracket for that front valance. So I'm going to leave that and I'm going to move to the back end because I just want to get all the panels hung so they don't get damaged. Having a look in the boot, I've found a window handle and my other door lock. That's handy. Also the rear bit off the boot lid. It's not in bad nick, just need to clean up. Half an old air filter that's seen better days. And most of the bits out of the passenger door. Oh, and the boot strap. I'll put those down there because they're out the passenger door. So are all of these. Found a scraper I've been missing for a year and a load of rubbish. And that's off the boot and that needs painting. There's always something else wants painting. That's the bracket for the boot stay. So that'll want cleaning up and painting. Screwdriver I've been missing for ages. And a load of rubbish. Boot floor's in really good condition, as is most of this car. I'll give that a clean out. I'm not really bothered about following any set pattern for this. I'd really just want to get it assembled with the bits I can find and then carry on from there. So we'll just clean everything up as we go along and make it tidy. Right, I've got the rear valance and the rear corners on. I'm going to try an overrider. Got my nice new overriders. Now the big problem you always have with this bottom bolt is it always rusts in the nut, and when you try and undo it, it twists the nut, you can't get it out, you end up either destroying the other end of the bolt, destroying the overrider. It's really difficult to get in there and cut the end of the bolt off on the inside because it's recessed. So don't use bolts. When you are putting new ones on or putting the old ones back, get a length of studding and cut it down to the right length. Pop the studding in and then put it through and put your nut on the inside, and then you've always got a nut on the inside, so you're never going to have any problems undoing it. If it does rust up on the inside, you can use a nut splitter or whatever, but it's just so much easier than trying to get off a twisted nut on the outside. Now, there should be some spacers going here, shouldn't there? No idea where they are. Well, I've been up in the loft and found boxes and boxes of spare parts. So I'm just going to have a root through them all and see what's in there. Oh, I've got the door handles and bits and pieces. They're handy. That's like Christmas again, all these bits. Loads of new bits. Oh, nylon bushes. New anti-roll bar arms. no idea what's in this lot. A lot of it came with the blue car that I bought, and a lot of it, that belongs to that. A lot of it came with the blue car I bought, and a lot of it came with various spares packages I bought off people. So, got spare instruments, spare relays, bonnet cones. Just bought bonnet cones and I've got a pack of 4 in there. Look at that, should have looked through it first. Spacers for the front suspension. Set of wheel sensors. Oh, brand new water pump. Might need that. And a broken gear knob. More wheel sensors. Light bulbs and stuff. They can come in handy. And loads of nuts and bolts, and I'll have to tip this one out. There's loads of nuts and bolts and fittings and all sorts. I don't know what's in here. Loads of stuff in new rimmers bags, new clips. Yeah, I'm going to have to sort all this lot out and see exactly what I've got in here. I've got a ton of stuff. Came with one of the cars that ever I bought, which has got all new bits in rimmer packs. Oh, I've got a brand new Kenlo fan here. Copper pipe, which I'm going to need tomorrow for a job I'm doing. So there's a Kenlo there, and I think that's the wiring for it. So that goes with the Kenlo. So we might get that fitted at some point. Loads more nuts and bolts. I'll talk through what's in those. My another bit to paint. Loads of nuts and bolts. What they won't use. I spent an hour looking for the back lights. Couldn't find them anywhere. Hunted the whole loft, moved everything, couldn't find them. So I did what you always do in these circumstances. I gave up and I went and had some lunch. And I came back and I walked up in the loft and I looked in the far corner, saw a cardboard box, underneath a load of other rubbish, and there's the back lights. So sometimes it works just to walk away and give up. This is a budget rebuild, not a concours. Got all these bits of plastic for the bumper. They are rock hard. Really hot water. Throw them in. That water was boiling a minute ago. And leave them in there for 3 or 4 minutes. I'm getting a pair of pliers to take them out with because that water's really hot. So just let them soak in there for a few minutes and they'll go soft. Right, they've only been in a minute or 2 and they're soft already. Whip them out. I'll get that bit of paint off in a minute. Give them a wipe. And they are now nice and soft and they will fit. You take them out, fit them to the overrider straight away because they will, as soon as they cool, they will go hard again. So just get them out the water, fit them straight away onto the overrider and let them cool there and they'll stay there. Budget rebuild. I'm not spending, we can spend hundreds and hundreds on replacing all these bits and it's not necessary for me. Now for the bumpers, I use these 5mm rivets They have exactly the same size head as the standard ones that are on the car, but they're a bigger rivet, and quite often the holes are a bit rusted out or whatever. So you might need to enlarge the holes slightly, but that's it. So pop it on. Line it up with the original hole. Put my rivet in. Have I got enough air pressure? Yeah, I have. Just get it lined up properly. That's it. And that's it. I'll give the bumpers a good clean up later. I'll do them on the car. Right, now the bumpers are on, I can put the overriders on. I've got my studs in and I made a space. So it's a bit of copper tube with a couple of washers, but it'll do the job absolutely fine. So slide it in. Just, that's it. That fits over the bumpers. And now you can put washers and the nuts on. That's the overrider bolted on nice and solid. Make sure you get it central so you've got room to get the chrome strips in either side. Now you can fit the rear light unit. Pull the cables through. And just slot it up into position. That's it. And they're a 3/8 spanner size. So pop them on and then get a 3/8 spanner. I need a washer for that one. Let's find a little washer. That looks like the right one. I know this wasn't what I said I was going to do earlier. I said I was going to get all the panels on, but I might as well finish off building up the back end while I'm there. And that goes on. Do the screws up. I've cleaned the horseshoe chrome up with a bit of also sol. Now, these have got metal clips inside them. And as soon as you put them on, they scratch the paint and start rust. This hasn't. For the moment, I'm just popping it on. That's one of the light screws fell out. Need to get a screwdriver and put that in. I'm just going to pop that chrome on because that sets where your lower ones go. And what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm actually going to put a little dab of glue on that chrome to hold it in place, because I really don't like the trims. I don't like the clips because they just absolutely mess up that's that side. Put that one on that side because this outer edge is better. This has still got the clips in it. No, I will use them. I don't like them. No, it hasn't got the clips. They've just fallen out. Get them right up where you want to be. And then just give them a little tap. That screw's fallen out again. Need to put that on. And that's a tiny bit low, so you can just go underneath the bottom and just tweak them up to where you want them. And make sure they're knocked on tight so they don't come off. One goes on this way up. A little bit of dirt on there. And that's it. I'm going to glue that on. That's one corner finished. The bumpers need a good polish, but I'll do those later on. Once I've got the car assembled and I can actually use it, I'll go round doing more bits of cleaning and polishing and whatever. I just want to get it into being a running car. So now I've got the other side to put together, but I can't because I haven't got any nuts for the stubbing. So I've got to nip to my nut and bolt shop, pick some more nuts up. Well, it's another cold, miserable, rainy day. It's Thursday now. I got on okay yesterday with the back end of the car. Show you what I've done. Boot lid's on, back lights are on. I didn't get the nuts for the other overrider, but it's sitting there at the moment. I'll pop over and get them today. So it's starting to look quite good. The back panel, the silver one, needs painting again. Unfortunately, it's got a little scratch on it where it's been in storage, so I'll have to, it's just resting there at the moment. But this morning, I've been polishing up the rear bit, goes on the boot lid, don't know what you call it, moulding goes on the boot lid. And also, I have powder coated the bracket, it's all right, for the, oh it's hot still, for the rear number plate light, for the number plate and the reversing light bit, which I've also given a polish, so that looks quite good. So I'm going to start assembling those once that cools down a little bit, and then we'll carry on with the boot lid. And then the rest of the plan for today is to finish assembling this side, get the sill and the door on this side, and I might even put the wheels on this side because I'm fed up looking at these disgusting old rusty buckled 1200 wheels it's got on it. And I think if I get the door and the sill on, I'd like to put the wheels on and just see what it looks like. So that's the plan for the moment. Well, that's the back end all assembled, apart from the couple of nuts I'm waiting for the overrider. I know I've got to take the silver panel off at some point, but I'll worry about that later. But it's all in, lock and handle all work perfectly, which makes a change. And now that the boot seal's on, the boot lines up proper. You need the seal to hold it up in the middle. So I'm waiting for a couple of nuts and a radio aerial to fill the hole. I'm not sure what I'm going to get for that, but I'll get something just to fill that hole up. So that's the back end pretty much done. So now I can move on to the sides. Up, putting the seal on, I thought I might as well put the wheels on. Now, I don't know if you're a fan or not of mini light wheels, but you've got to admit they look a lot better than the rusty old Herald ones. It needs obviously to move to settle the suspension down because it's sitting a bit high at the moment, and I've only got like 2 foot. I can roll it forwards and backwards, it's not enough, but I think it looks okay. So let's get the door on. Right, that's it for today. I'm going to nip over to my nut and bolt shop before he shuts, get a few bits that I need. I'm quite happy with this side. The bonnet cone needs adjusting. It's a bit high because it's pulling the wing in when I tighten it up, but the gaps are all nice. I might just move the door forward a millimetre, and literally just a millimetre, to make the gaps even at both ends, but I'm quite happy with it. It's a good gap for a Vitesse Herald. Some of them have horrendous gaps, and the thing I like about it is it all lines up nice down the side. So doors are dead level with the bonnet, back wing, everything fits nicely. So yeah, I'm pleased with that, and I think the wheels look all right. So as I said earlier, the big question is, do I stripe it or not? Let me know what you think. It looks quite clean in white, but I think a stripe might help it. Red lotus green stripe. So I quite fancy this. I think that would look a bit different, and I think it'd look all right with the cream. I can lighten it very slightly so that it does match the wheel colour a bit better. I'm quite keen on that idea. Let me know what you think in the comments. Lotus green stripe. So I quite fancy this. I think that would look a bit different, and I think it'd look all right with the cream. I can lighten it very slightly so that it does match the wheel colour a bit better. I'm quite keen on that idea. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if I should stripe it, what colour I should stripe it. It's actually quite amazing looking at the camera how the colour changes. That one up there is a yellow fluorescent light, and that one up there is a white one, and they do actually change the colour on the car. You can see it as you move around. It is all the same colour, but it depends on which way the light's hitting it. It's almost a pearlescent. Stripe or not, let me know. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye.